Good evening, YouTube. This is Kayleen String coming at you with a return to my regular Sunday night dinner streams. And this one is vegetarian lasagna from Chef 5 Minute Meals. This is one of the civilian rations that was sent to me with a bunch of other stuff last year and brought to me by Aletha. Of course, I got rations from quite a few people last year, so I didn't think of what to put up until just now. I got home from hanging out with my mom and my sisters and my niece, great niece, and nephews, celebrating Mother's Day. So we had a good meal. It was a late lunch, so tonight will be a light dinner. I ate so much that I think this just might be enough, but I brought a couple other things out because these Chef 5 Minute Meals, from what I've seen, do not have a drink, and I decided to only go with a cold drink, so I grabbed this this lemon lime shaker pouch. And I had handy Cinnamon's applesauce. So Shocker 71 did one of these things in a tandem review along with his wife, Doxy Mom. But they each did a different meal, but they kind of tasted each other's. So I just have a Walgreens bag off to the left for collecting the trash. So this comes, it just had this band loosely around the items. I guess to hold them together while they are wrapped. Just clear plastic band. So you get, sometimes you get a retort, sometimes you get one of these tubs like this one. This happens to be the vegetarian lasagna. And then you get banana chips. Get instant granola. I still haven't quite figured out why would you put a breakfast item in with a savory entree. And you get one whole wheat tortilla. And you get two crackers, two round crackers, kind of like a pilot bread cracker. And then you get one of these huge monster flameless ration heaters, but I'm not going to use that. And you get a mixed fruit jelly. It kind of looks like a combination of, say, an apple, maybe a berry. You get a salt-free seasoning blend. Get 3 peppermint disc candies. And you get this foam tray, which surprisingly has still held intact, but I'm not going to use that because I have my green tray. And then you get this little spork. You do get salt and pepper and a little napkin. Just a little spork, but you know what I'm going to do. I will use my foreignmemory.com spork. So, since we all know what these cereals, this granola is, I'm not going to bother with that. I'll save that for a camping trip. But then again, I do have this cinnamon zapple sauce. I could have a little fun with it. So while my water is coming up to the boil, I'm going to see who's here. Got Pete, got Mike Crusher Reviews. Thanks to the both of you for dropping in. I see 5 viewing, but they just haven't all commented. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up this drink because these are known for taking a long time to dissolve. I'll go that far on it. What the heck? But as I said earlier, we had a good time hanging out with my mom. She does have home care come in several times a week. She has wound care come in to deal with a nasty wound that developed while she was in the hospital. And trust me, you do not want to get bed sores and let them fester, because that can get you into trouble. And so that was her issue. So she has to have wound care come in at home in order to have them checked and treated to avoid infection and to promote healing, because those things can be deep, and hers was. But she has an oxygen concentrator, a small one, so it's somewhat portable. I see Quint in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'll let that go for now. I'll give it another mix later. Yeah, I'm not doing a hot drink tonight. I just don't feel like it. But I'm going to put this lasagna in my pot on the stove and heat it that way, because Yeah, because I can, and because I like to save these ration heaters for when I actually need them. To heat up a pouch or a small tub like this without having to cook, but yet have a hot meal, and I can be discreet about it. Or I could pack one of these things with a container of food that I can put in there and take it on the go. So anyway, I'll be right back. And while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and start opening up these other things. No tear notches, so I'm going to get the cheaters. There we got the banana chips. So here are the crackers. Top side and bottom side. There's Tracy Phillips in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I am looking forward to trying this. I'm gonna open up the tortilla. This is about the size of the tortillas that you get, maybe a little bit smaller than the standard USMRE tortillas, but a little bit bigger than the MRE Star ones. Now the MRE store tortillas, I like that you get 3 of them. So they are yeah, that's okay. Violet cracker, almost twice the thickness of a standard USMRE cracker. going to go ahead and give this a taste. I just looked at the ingredients on this. It's grape. In the front. But I can pick up the grape flavor a little bit. Chips. Too bad for I'm going to give my lemon lime drink another mix. So my lasagna should be heated up. I'll be right back. I'm drying this thing off. And the label on the underside here kind of started to discolor. Put that there. Some of these seasoning bits I'm scraping off of here. as what the lasagna looks like. I think I'm just going to leave it in here instead of trying to dump it out onto the tray. Now see what this thing tastes like. The TVP, or textured vegetable protein, is what will give the filling a meat-like texture. Yeah, it is layered like a lasagna should be. Yet it almost reminds me of like a manicotti, which is a huge, think of a penne tube but on steroids. But this is the full-size lasagna noodle, not those little bits of so-called lasagna that you would get in a can or in, say, a Mountain House freeze-dried lasagna pouch. There's real bits of tomato. I can't tell if there's any cheese in here. But it could probably do with a little cheese. But other than that, it's actually not too bad for a vegetarian dish. Yeah, that exactly. The Chef Boyardee lasagna is basically flat pieces of noodle with a wavy edge. Now that one does sound pretty interesting. So the best buy on this, let's see this. I think it had like a 21 best buy date. I don't remember what it was on here. But these individual pouches do not have their own stamp of a best buy date, but see this cereal even has a fill line for water, but because it's not a gusseted bottom and you can't reseal it after you fill it, it would be pretty unstable. So I would definitely be using a container if I were to go ahead and mix that up or do it in my tray, but I'm not going to mess with that. Actually, I think I just found some cheese. I think they put ricotta in here. I just bit into something that's stringy like cheese, so I think they put ricotta in here. Oh wow, now those are really fresh. The herbs in here are pretty good. Although personally, I wouldn't mind a touch more garlic flavor. Because I do like the garlic flavor. Yeah, that there is puppy breath in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'm glad to see all of you showing up for not announcing a stream for tonight. I had intended to post up what I was going to do, but I just did not think about it because I was trying to edit my video that I shot at the farmer's market yesterday. I went to the farmer's market, then I came home, had lunch, and then I was transferring some of my videos off my phone to the laptop. But I had to redo some of it because sometimes it would not transfer all 5 clips at once. I had to do that one at a time. And then I was running my my editor, which I have open shot on the laptop. I'm on I started my 3rd try of exporting the splice video for upload. So I just let that run all day. And it does run with the laptop itself closed. But it just got somehow paused yesterday. And then I had to restart it. So I have not checked it since I came home from hanging out with my mom, but I will after the stream. But it was taking a long time for it to process it. I guess a couple of my segments from yesterday are pretty big. So I have absolutely no idea how long it will actually end up being. I was shooting my 5th segment yesterday and my phone battery started to go and I did not plug into a power bank. It was pretty sunny. So it was hard to see my screen unless I was actually in the shade. But anyway, I made a few good finds yesterday. There is Sunshine Side of Life 77 in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Wow, Mike. Yeah, you need to have trail cams set up so you can capture these freeloaders. And not just because we have that avian big nasty going around. And it's hitting backyard. Well, darn. See, that's where a trail cam can come in handy. You can set that thing out Set of batteries in there. You know what you might find? I guess you got Fox Heaven there. That meowing you might be hearing in the background is Pumpkin. She's moving around. When Pumpkin purrs, it sounds like she's got a motor running, so I call her Motor Kitty. And she will get into my bathtub and she will look at the faucet, hoping to get water to come out of it. She's doing that. Yeah, it's speaking of bird feeders. My mom has hummingbird feeders, but they are not hanging off her deck. Particular version, it's being carried by wild birds on the move. And what they leave behind can infect commercial flocks, backyard flocks that people own, or pet birds, or birds that are attracted to a property because of feeders. And this big nasty is part of the reason why poultry prices at the stores, as well as egg prices, are through the roof. So if you want to follow, time to get it is now, if you can. Now, I had 24 eggs in my fridge before Ramadan, and what I decided to do is I knew I wasn't going to be using them. I then a Ziploc bag, and I put those in my freezer. And I have seen videos on people freezing eggs that they have either cracked, just crack them into some container that can be frozen, or they beat them and then put them in a container to freeze. And of course, the shells went in the compost. Tuna rolls in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I have missed a lot of Ration videos because I just was not online much during Ramadan because I was spending so much time at the mosque because I volunteer to do stuff to get that way. When it's time to eat after everybody breaks their fast and prays the sunset prayer. So the more that could be done ahead of time, the smoother it went. Well, I could be lagging. I'm not sure. So I might be lagging. Yeah, I do apologize for that. My connection may be a bit iffy. The weather of we haven't had too much as far as solar flares or stuff coming at us from the sun, but it could be a combination of things. Oh, yes, it was. I could not see a few people that I was hoping to see because either they had moved out of state or at least out of town. Some had gone to other countries for a visit with relatives. But there's some new faces that I had not met before, so that's good. And our mosque even had the roof redone because we were having leaks. Although we had an additional leak after the roof repair was done, but the roofing company was called back to come out and check that. Failed or we caught it and we were putting buckets down to catch water. The sirens are going off. And I thought, holy crap, we're going to have a tornado. I never got any tornado alerts on my phone. But here, the sirens will go off for a high wind warning. So the wind got pretty bad. But yesterday when I went out to the farmer's market, the weather was absolutely gorgeous. It was cash for, and then I had a Target gift card, which I went yesterday afternoon and spent that, plus some other cash for gardening supplies, and found one thing that I wanted. Only use for hauling groceries when I go grocery shopping, because that's how I haul my groceries home in a bus, is with this suitcase. That was a rescue, for, saved from a trip to the dumpster, and it's in perfect condition. So I use that as a grocery hauler. Of organic garden seeds, which I will store for future use. And I picked up a little garden trowel, garden shovel thing, so I can have something more substantial to mix the compost in my big bucket. Because this little barbecue fork that I'm currently using, I got that. And they had fire extinguishers there, so I actually picked up one of those. But I got one that's marked auto because with the stuff that I picked size, it'll do the job all the same. This particular one had out or looked like they had been picked over. Now we were talking about plants at my sister's house, and Talking about, romaine, that my nephew plants romaine because he feeds his tortoises that. Any romaine seeds at all. Okay, Quint, thanks for dropping in. Oh. We're supposed to be in the upper 80s. Some places here in Iowa could crack 90. So there will be some air conditioners cranking for sure. And one of my sisters needs to change the filter in hers, but the particular size she needs is hard to find. Instead, in the house, as a chef, 5-minute meals. Vegetarian lasagna is in this little tub. And I just finished off the second cracker. This jam is apple and grape blend. So I've got banana chips here, which are pretty good. This is a granola. It says with latte, which means it has milk. But I've seen a few of these on other channels, and I'm not sure if this is meant as a dessert, while they would put a breakfast item in with something like this. But you get no drinks with these, so I just pulled a lemon lime drink powder. And you get a tortilla. But this is a whole wheat tortilla. Squeezing the last of the jelly on it, because I have nowhere else to put it. I had pulled out this Zapple sauce, but I think I'm just going to skip it since, as I said earlier, I had a late lunch and it was very filling. We had French dip, or beef and au jus as it's also known as. And we had potato salad, we had fruit, we had pie, we had potato chips, and my great niece likes kimchi, so she had a jar of kimchi, and she shared it with those of us who were interested in trying it. So I thought it was not too bad for commercially made kimchi. This tortilla did not have an oxygen absorber in it. Neither did the crackers. And neither did the banana chips. So this tastes just a little on the stale side, but it's not too bad. But later this month, I will be going to an Iowa prepper meetup. I was able to score a ride to the location for Saturday. Unfortunately, no one is able to come to Des Moines on Friday to pick me up, so I will leave Saturday sometime in the morning, and we're going to one of the state parks here in Iowa. It is called the Ledges State Park. And I camped there with a larger group back in 2017. And that was the day I came back. It happened to be Labor Day. And so we were literally cutting through a gap in the Labor Day parade to get me back to my apartment. So that was odd because a cop that was directing traffic let us go through, which is really weird. So I will try to shoot some video while I'm there. But there will be people who have a skill set that they can teach. Well, they're offering classes to other attendees to try to learn whatever skill that happens to be. Like one is a CPR trainer. So I can take that particular person's class and get recertified for CPR, which I have not been certified since 2010. And I have been wanting to keep up my CPR certification, even though I haven't been active in nursing since back in 2010 2012, early 2013, I had a private duty client, was the last time I worked. But, that's something I had been wanting to do, and now I have an opportunity to do it. There is CR in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Burger Butt in the house. Yep, this. I don't know how well this will show up. Chef 5-minute meals, vegetarian lasagna. Actually, not too bad. So I did not use, so it came with 3 seasonings. Salt, pepper, and this seasoning blend. But these will go into my camping food. I have a Ziploc bag with seasoning packets in it. So I put these things in there. And it came with this little spork, which will go into my collection of utensils. I have a bag full of spoons. I'm actually on my second spoon bag. I have a bag full of forks and sporks. Then I got a bag full of knives, and of course this little napkin. Even that's getting saved. In this little tray, because it is not broken, I will actually save it. It's my way of adding to my emergency supplies of disposable tableware. That should I have to restrict my water usage, I can use it and then just go ahead and lose it. Or, something I can barter. And of course, it came with this humongous flameless ration heater, which has its own water pouch. So the heating element is a little bit bigger than the standard US Emery heating element. So this is a chemically treated water with something in it that helps this thing kick off. And you could put a French main in there, one of those cans. You could put a Russian entree can in there. You could put a bigger retort pouch in there. Say, I have 2 IMPs. I could take the retort entree out of one of those, stick that in this thing, and then heat it up that way. So that's why I save all the ration heaters I get and the water packs. What I do is I cut the bag open, I take the water pouch out, and I put it inside of a Ziploc bag. And then I put the ration heater bag itself inside of another Ziploc bag. So I store them separately. That way, less chance of the water pouch getting punctured. That's just how I choose to do it. I also got these three. These are referred to as Starlight Mints. They're peppermint candies. I'll save these for later. So these Chef My 5-minute meals, this particular one, this vegetarian lasagna, is actually not too bad. Although I wouldn't have minded a little bit more garlic flavor in it. And if they would put something in as a dessert item instead of a breakfast item, that would probably be a good change. But since we pretty much all know what these granola cereals are like, this will go. So that way or I could put it into the my get home bag or bug out bag or something like that. Then you liquid on it. Although with that milk powder in there, it might be a little bit messier. One thing you could do is, instead of using the jelly on the crackers or the tortilla, busting up some of these banana chips in there, put that jelly in there, and then put your water in there. You could have done it that way, although I chose not to. Well, speaking of gardening, I have not gotten anything planted yet, but since I went to Target yesterday and burned a gift card that I got as an Eid gift, along with some cash, I picked up a few garden-related items. I added some seeds for future use. So now, I picked up 2 bags of an organic potting soil that they had. I did not want to get any of that Miracle Grow crap because I don't want chemicals in there. If I attract any pollinators, I don't want any chemicals in the plants that they might choose to But I do have to report that my onion start failed. It did not make it. That's okay. You can always catch a replay later. But this is a vegetarian lasagna by Chef 5-minute meals. And for a vegetarian item, this is really not too bad. And again, I apologize if my video is a bit shaky or if my audio is a bit scatterbrained. I think my connection is a bit off. It's getting dark outside. We're going to have some more rain. But anyway, since I have Ramadan behind me, I'm going to go ahead and prep the pots that I need to prep. I have containers that I want to drill holes in for drainage. And the 2 bags of potting soil that I had bought off of Amazon will not be enough to fill all the containers that I actually am going to be planting in. Now that I have additional seeds that were sent to me by other YouTubers. You know, I got the Secret Seed Challenge seeds. I got some pepper seeds. And I got, that was a seed win. Plus I have all the seeds from Ginger Ninja. Plus a few that I want to plant again. This year I just may go about it a little different. And I'm going to try playing with some new pot arrangements. So that is what I will be doing. And but since tomorrow and Tuesday is supposed to be real heaters here, I may not actually do any planting since I have to drill containers. I'll probably just do that. Plus I need to do laundry. But I'll get my pot prep done. And then I can go ahead and start filling them up. And I have compost. So that failed onion start, that went right into the compost bucket on the deck. Plus I have additional compost in my little kitchen bucket that I keep under the sink. I got some onion scrap in there. I got some other veggie scrap. And then I have coffee grounds. That's the majority of the compost. I have some apple scrap in there. So I got a good fair bit of stuff. Eggshells are out in the compost bucket on the deck, so that's where they're at. But one thing I don't have is worms. And the only way I could get worms would be if I go to Walmart and buy a container of fishing worms. Yeah, when I cracked those 24 eggs into Ziploc bags to put in my freezer, I just took all the shells and I just put them out into that compost bucket on the deck to let them dry out. And then a few days ago, when I dumped my failed onion start into that bucket with the compost, because I had it in a plastic container, but I did not have holes in it because I had that thing on top of my fridge. So then I just crunched up the eggshells and mixed all that in. So I don't think I will have any issues with the plants not getting enough calcium. And whatever other micronutrients would be in the shells. And I'm hoping that there is enough acidity from the citrus scrap, the onion scrap, the pepper scrap, because I have some pepper scrap in there from some time back. And since I don't have worms, I don't do that slurry thing. Plus, I only have a certain amount of space on my deck. But I have some shelving that I can now use to put some of those on. And I have those planter stands with wheels on it and water catch trays. But unfortunately, those are not big enough to put my big square planters on. But I can put some other pots on there. But I had thought about going to Walmart and buying a container of fishing worms and putting that in the bucket. But I don't know if that is a good worm to use for that, or what to do once I dump all the compost into the pots. That's okay. We all have an oops now and then. I've screwed up big time with typing stuff or saying stuff, It happens. Yeah, see, I wouldn't know where to get worms that would be suitable for compost. And like I said, once I empty the compost from that bucket into my pots, where would I put the worms? Would I leave them, allow them to go into the pots? Oh, this one? This spork. Foreignemery.com. That's where you can get this. It's titanium. It kind of has the look of a Light by Fire spork. They are $9.99 US on the Foreign Emery website. And all US orders, free shipping. And if you get the ammo can gift packages, with most of them, you'll get one of these in there. And because it's titanium, it's very light. So it would be a good one for your get-home bag or bug-out bag. Or for just camping. And you can also get mugs on their site. You can also order t-shirts, just the size. Art and Nina you a shirt, and in one or two of the ammo can gift packages, you get a shirt. So if you buy that, you have to send them your shirt size, either for you or if you're going to give that shirt as a gift to someone. Yeah, I think you would enjoy having one of these because I enjoy using it. The only time I'm doing a free the pouch to stir the food, when I put the water in, because these things just do not reach down deep enough. So I have a longer teaspoon that I use for that. Yeah, put the compost in with the potting soil and then some additional compost on top when I planted the seeds, and just let it go at that. Yeah, for some places that might be the smart thing to do. Or you ask for plastic ones. And speaking of utensil collecting, when I went to prayer, because I rising and just see what we have left in our inventory. I didn't do a full inventory. I just wanted to just organize what was there. Some things are washed and just left in the sink. I put all those things on water, but I didn't use a straw, so I kept it. Then I got this cold iced coffee, and they put the super wide straw in it, and it's a pretty thick one, so guess what? I brought that home. So that will go, both of those will go in. I cleaned that extra wide straw out, of course. But because that one is extra wide, I could actually use it as a container straw. Maybe cut it in half or in thirds, depending on what I'm putting inside there. Seal up the ends after I fill it. And then I have 2 or 3 little packets or one longer one, depending on what I choose to do with it. And then yesterday at the farmer's market, I got a quart of this honey lemonade that was made by a beekeeper. That thing down and lemon juice and some water. So the honey gave it the sweetness, so they did not add sugar, just the honey. So after cleaning out that jug, oh, that does sound good. From my late lunch, toss up this little stream. So I wanted people to see that I'm back. I just had not posted up anything on my community tab, but I am back to my regular schedule with Sunday night streams. Only time it might change is if traveling or might get me delayed or might miss it altogether. I don't know. But I don't see anything like that happening. Although later this month, as I said, I'm attending an Iowa prepper meetup at the Ledges State Park. I haven't figured that out yet. And then, of course, in August, we have the first week of August, we have our annual family trip. So I obviously will not be streaming that the Sunday night from there because signal out there is not all that crappy, and I'd rather be, I go out there to spend time with my family at my late dad's favorite Iowa. I hope so because I didn't do too good with fishing last year. At least I tried. But I may get a can of mango pulp and take with me on that, and then when we and I make mango lassi for my family. There is Elsie in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I pretty much ate all I'm going to eat for this little meal. Yeah, mango lassi. For we break our fast, eat a few dates, and then we pray the sunset prayer. But this is something that we do. All it is, it's melted vanilla ice cream, whole milk, and mango pulp. Maybe a couple ounces. Somebody has a chance to get a taste of it who can drink it. There are some who are lactose intolerant, who cannot have dairy for one reason or another. Or they just don't like dairy or whatever. So they pass on it. But anyway, so I would be 2 gallons of cans of the mango pulp. It's basically like mango puree. And I just mix all that up together. Back in the fridge to chill. And if you want a really cool summertime treat, refreeze it and serve it like ice cream. So I may have to get some mango lassi down to a half gallon of ice cream, 1 gallon of milk, and 1 can of mango pulp because I can only get the one size of mango at the store where I get the mango pulp. Chef 5-minute meals. And it had TVP or textured vegetable protein to give it the texture of having meat in it. And it had a good herb flavor, had chunks of tomato. At first I didn't think it had any cheese in it, but I did get some ricotta later. I wish it had a little bit more garlic. So I did not use the salt or the pepper or this seasoning blend. Little bits. So it's got bits of veggie. Pepper, carrot. It says spices, but doesn't say which spices. I probably would have added try without this. Then guess this will get added to my seasoning bag that I use for camping. And then I have another bag that I have a few of these bags that I can either have in my get home bag, in my bug out bag, and then my camping food bag. One bag with seasonings always stays in there, and then I just add to it as I need to. It's my connection. It's a bit iffy. I think we're going to have some more storms tonight. We had a bit of rain on and off today. Yeah, so I said this vegetarian entree But because I ate so much for lunch and my lunch was a bit late, we didn't start eating till almost 2:30. So I was still quite full from that. I just wanted a light meal, and I figured this Chef 5-minute meal would. I had pulled out and this granola, that'll go into my camping food bag for later use. And because these meals do not come with a drink, Yep, I am happy to be back, but I was also very happy to be with my Muslim brothers and sisters this year for Ramadan and not have to spend it alone with last year and the year before one cat. Of course, now I have two. But it was nice to be with the community again. And we give a lot of our iftar dinner leftovers to a local group that feeds the homeless people. So we share, we help the community out in that way. But since, no one else in my family is Muslim, they don't come to the mosque. Well, I have invited them, but they just choose not to. But, school year, so my sister is busy with her school that she teaches at, and my other sisters have their jobs, plus they take my mother to her appointments and whatever she needs to do since she doesn't drive. And it was good to see her out and about, having spent nearly a month in the hospital, then about a week and a half in rehab. So she's been back in her apartment a little over a week, maybe almost 2 weeks. So she gets home care. And if she keeps doing what she's supposed to do and she keeps improving, maybe she can ditch the oxygen, at least for part of the day. And then I gave her a gift. I gave her one of the Olight O bulbs. I told her she can have a night light for when the power goes out. She said I must have read her mind because she was thinking about getting some kind of a night light that she can have for when the power's out. So, of course, I've been sitting on that particular O bulb for quite some time. I probably had it for about 3 months. And so I gave it to her. And she says, oh, now that I have this, I don't have to get one. So she will have a night light for when the power goes out. And because it's portable, she can take it around where she needs it and have light. Ouch. Yeah, that's a bugger I'll see when that happens. Thanks for dropping in, Puppy Breath. Hope to see you again next week. I may go ahead and dive into one of those IMPs that CT sent me. I'm so itching to try one of those. I just did not want to bust out a big old meal tonight, since I ate so late this afternoon and I ate so much. Yeah, really, that's something that will be a very difficult recovery, but as long as this person knows that others have his or her back, yeah, she should feel more at ease. There is John in the house. I ate it all, sorry. Well, not all of it. I have this granola, which I'm going to save for later. I'll save. I got 3 candies, salt, pepper, and other seasoning. I pulled his applesauce thinking I might want it. I might do something with it, but nope. I'll save that for another day. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. And I do want to thank you all for dropping in. It was good to see everybody. A few came in, and I will definitely post up next week what I'm going to do. I won't feel like I'm so rushed for a decision. I mean, I had time to think about it. I just wasn't sure. I just didn't think about it until after I got home about 6:30 my time. I want to do something, so I just went for the chef 5-minute meal. I figured this would be a good light dinner. But back to the real good stuff next week. So, like I said, I may pull an IMP. One of the 2 that CT sent me. But who knows? I'll think about that one. And thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.